I really felt the benefits of meditation and the state of meditation, because before that, if I would try to concentrate, for example, it was very hard. Ayurveda and yoga are very connected, and I think it's also they're meant to be practiced together. They feel each other up, I think.
Vanakkam, namaste, and hello, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste. Welcome to the 79th episode of Inside the Minds of Great Yogis. In today's episode, we have a very special guest, Nane.
Originally from Armenia and currently based in the country Georgia, Nane Alikhanyan is a dedicated yoga teacher with 2 to 3 years of teaching experience and over 7 years of consistent personal practice. With a strong interest in Transcendental Meditation, there is a clear aspiration to deepen this path and eventually become a certified teacher in the practice. Currently studying Ayurveda and inspired by Vedic wisdom, Nane embraces a holistic and accessible approach to yoga, making it simple, practical, and relevant to everyday life. She is deeply passionate about supporting others and managing stress and anxiety with the aim of fostering greater well-being and an improved quality of life. It is a pleasure to welcome Nane on the Inside the Minds of Great Yogis podcast.
Let's give a big round of applause to Nane.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast, Nane. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing quite well. I'm looking forward to hearing a bit about your perspectives of yoga. So I think we'll get started. And the first question that I have for you today is, how did your journey of yoga begin? How did you get started into the practice?
Mm-hmm. So I started when I was around 15 years old, and at first I started as many people just for the flexibility and for the beautiful postures. That's what was interesting me. And then with time, as I practiced almost every evening since I was 15. And with time, my practice got deeper and deeper, and I started to feel not only the physical benefits of it, but also I, I felt more clarity in my mind, and I felt more peaceful in general. And so many other benefits came, which were not exactly physical. And like that, I started to deepen my practice and be more interested in meditation and more spiritual aspect of yoga. And then with time, several years later, I felt that urge to become a yoga teacher, and then I applied for a yoga teacher training.
Yeah, it's great to hear that. And I know alongside yoga, I believe you also practice meditation.
Mhm.
So I'm curious as to what drew you to transcendental sort of meditation, and how has it impacted your spiritual and mental well-being?
Yeah, so before I learned the Transcendental Meditation, I tried many other meditations, and I tried things like mindfulness and concentration and guided meditations. And many of them sort of brought some benefits, like I felt more peaceful or some things like that. But I never quite experienced that state of meditation that I was reading about or hearing about from other yoga teachers or masters, gurus. And I was very interested to explore that, but it kind of felt like it's out of reach, and it's just something that only few people can experience in the world. And then someday I saw my favorite musician, one of my favorite musicians of that time, post about the transcendental meditation. So that's how I got interested in it. And few months later, it just naturally happened that I found a teacher and I learned the technique. And it was actually the first time that I really felt the benefits of meditation and the state of meditation. Because before that, if I would try to concentrate, for example, it was very hard. And um, many of those meditations say that you need to kind of silence your mind and not think anything, and then you're sitting and trying to not think anything, and then you understand that you're thinking about not thinking anything. So that's kind of hard, and it requires a lot of effort. But when I learned transcendental meditation, it's a completely effortless technique. That's why I loved it very much. And it was very powerful from the very beginning. And it was very great experience. And as time goes, the practice goes deeper and deeper. And then I was kind of able to explore that area of meditation and that state and feel that actual benefits that I was hearing about. Um, yeah, so that's how.
That's great to hear that. I think meditation is a very important part for many people, but I think some people
Mhm.
miss that. And as you mentioned, concentration and focus is also hard, especially in meditation. And I think you also beautifully described how when you also try not to think about nothing and then that leads
Mhm.
to your thoughts. So yeah, I think meditation is such a like a key skill, and I think it takes time to also master, right? So yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna move on to the next question that I have for you there. So
Mhm.
how do you integrate meditation into your yoga classes, especially for beginners who are dealing with anxiety?
Mhm. So I don't teach meditation in my yoga classes. I learned several techniques that I can teach, but since I learned TM, Transcendental Meditation, I stopped teaching other practices because I wasn't practicing myself, and it just kind of didn't feel right to teach something that I'm not practicing. And so, yeah, I'm not teaching meditation, but I hope that in the future, when I become a teacher of Transcendental Meditation, I will also integrate that after the yoga, like the physical practice, include that as well. And then that will, I think, make the practice way more full and holistic.
Well said, well said. Um, I'm gonna move on into the next question that I have for you. And now I know you're also passionate about Ayurveda. So I'm just
Mhm.
curious, in what ways do you blend Ayurveda into your daily routine, or even your students' routines?
Yeah. So I try to integrate the basics of Ayurveda in my everyday life, like the way I cook or the way I eat. For example, eating at 12 o'clock, around 12 o'clock, when the largest meal, when the digestion is strongest. And simple things like tongue scraping to clear out the toxins from the body, and abhyanga, which is oil massage, which is also very great for health. Um, and once you kind of make it a habit, then it becomes very easy to just do it every day without even noticing, but it really supports your health. And Ayurveda and yoga are very connected, and I think they're meant to be practiced together. They fill each other up, I think. And whenever appropriate, I'm also trying to give some advice to my students. What can they do? How can they integrate that? And I also very often orient on the energy of the group. For example, in Ayurveda, there are these concepts of gunas and doshas, which are basically the different energies of the mind and the body. And I try to feel, for example, if the group at that day feels more like kind of tired and lethargic and lazy, that's more like tamasic quality, and I try to move them more and get them out of that state to balance that out. Or if they're too active, maybe a little irritated, um, and they have like a lot of energy, but kind of too much, and they can't rest and they can't kind of close their eyes or calm down. That's when I try to bring more gentle practice and a little slow down a little bit to calm that pitta or that rajasic active state.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I'm trying to integrate the both.
Yeah, I love that. And I love how you had mentioned how you feel that both Ayurveda and yoga are like interconnected. And I think they definitely
Mhm.
are like best friends. Like they have so much similarities, right? So it's
Yeah.
really nice to see that how you blend it into your daily routines and even your classes.
Mhm.
So I have actually another quick question that I wanted to ask you, and
Mhm.
that's regarding content creation. So I know you're also sharing a lot of tips and things related to wellness on your Instagram page. So can you talk a little bit about that there?
So I just love creating these videos and I love connecting with people and sharing some things that I'm learning. And it's really also giving me a lot of energy and motivation when people get something out of it. They learn something and use it and it's helpful. And so I'm just trying to expand on that and make that something that can be the main job for me, main thing that I'm doing, because that's something that I really enjoy and I would really like to have a lot of time to give to that and expand that and work on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wish you the best on that journey. I hope that it goes
Thank
well
you.
for you. Um,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And I think now it is time for some rapid fire questions for you. And I'm excited to get into the first rapid fire question. So that is, have you witnessed any sort of transformative moments with your students and especially in terms of stress reduction or lifestyle changes?
Yes, definitely. I have witnessed it many, many times and with many students. And I've had many students who had anxiety, chronic anxiety, and for sure, I've witnessed many times how even just like in few classes, it's significantly dropping and maybe even completely gone. And that's really something that also is very motivating for me. And I also had a little student who was actually around 10 years old, but she's like so amazing and so smart. And she told me that we just had maybe 3 or 4 classes, and she already told me that um, she feels more peaceful and she can forgive easier when some argument happens. And she also says that she feels more connected to her emotions, her body, and her soul. And it's just so sweet to hear it from a 10-year-old. Yeah.
I think that's so adorable, especially coming from a 10-year-old. That's so nice. I'm sure as a teacher for you, that must be something really nice to hear, especially from your
Yeah.
students, right? Um,
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that there. And I think the final question that I have for you today is, how do you approach teaching yoga to people who may be skeptical or even struggling with their mental health?
Mhm. So I think the main thing people are skeptical about is they are thinking that it's a religious practice, and that's the main thing. And also maybe that it's just stretching or it's not really able to create any difference. And usually I just don't push people and just allow them the space and allow them to come to it naturally. And of course, obviously, I try to clear that misunderstanding up, that it's religion, and try to explain that um, it's a spiritual practice for sure, but it's not religious. And you can also just practice only the physical aspect of it. And there's nothing wrong with that, or the meditation only. And although all of that together works the best. So yeah, I just also some people when they witness their friends or family, if they see the differences, for example, their back pain is gone or their anxiety reduces, and then they naturally just come to it.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for sharing that there with me. And I think once they're able to see the difference, I think they'll automatically get hooked, right? As you mentioned, and it'll
Mhm.
be like a continuous practice. I think that's something really nice to hear. So Nene, thank you so much for joining me on
Thank you
this
so much.
episode. It has been a pleasure speaking with you, and I absolutely loved hearing a bit about your perspectives of yoga as well as meditation. And I hope we're able to do this again and catch up one more time to speak again. I definitely love that. And of course, to everyone else, thank you for listening to the 79th episode. I hope you all enjoy this episode. And thank you, Nene, for joining me.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure, and I'm really happy that you asked me for this and that we got to speak together. It was really great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much.